Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Reading Talk. I am your most gracious host, Miss Sasha. And with Real Reading Talk, we discuss the real systemic issues that are at the very core, the very foundation, as to why we have these high levels of illiteracy in our Black communities and the ways in which we can combat these issues together. All right, you guys, as you all see, those of you who are looking on the YouTube side, you see the video. I have two amazing, phenomenal guests, all right, on the podcast today. So, first, I would like to introduce the beautiful and amazing Mrs. Adrienne Henley. And let me share a few things about Mrs. Adrienne Henley, okay? She is a preschool teacher, a wife, mother of three sons, and a newly published author. All right. Then we have, hey, sitting next to her, her amazing dope son, Amari Henley. He is a basketball player, an exceptional honor roll student, and a newly published author. Come on, y'all. Yes, we are giving it up today for Miss Adrienne and Amari, y'all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stacia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. It is a pleasure to have you, okay? And I gotta let me give my shout out real quick to my brother, Kerwin Phillip. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I'm pumping him up right now early because he is the one who made the connect. He reached out to me after I had him on my podcast about a few weeks ago. And then he reached out and he was like, hey, he said, I just met this dope sister, and her son, and they are published authors. And he said, I think they would be an excellent guest choice for your podcast. I was like, say less. Say less. Okay, no problem. I said, let me do what I do. And this is where we are today. And so, like I, told you all before, and everybody who knows how the style of Real Reading Talk works is this is a conversation, okay? And this is a conversation that is centered around literacy and how this is something where we believe and understand that this is an important part of our Black community. This is something that is an integral part of our culture and our experiences, even though unfortunately what we are dealing with is across this nation, this high levels of illiteracy. And so what I would like to do is what I always do is I take my guests back to their foundation, your upbringing. Tell us where you are from, where you were born and raised, and a little bit about your family background. Start with you, Adrienne.
Yes. So I am a native of Richmond, Virginia, born here, raised here, all my life. I was born to a single mom who, such a gracious, poised woman who did her absolute best that she could do for my sister and I. But being raised in like the capital city, because we're the capital of Virginia, it was a little tough, kind of, growing up with a single parent. She was very stern, she was very loving, but she worked a lot. So we had to do a lot on our own while mommy was at work, which strained some things. But being a city girl, just in general, being a city girl, we saw a lot, we heard a lot, and we did a lot. But reading was in our foundation.
Okay, I love that. I love that. That is definitely great to hear. When you say dig a little deeper, when you say reading was in your foundation, so did you have it to where your parents did they read stories to you before you went to bed? Was it a lot of books, in your home? Did you see your parents, reading, as well? Did you see that being modeled in your home?
So with her being a single parent, not the reading at night. No, I really didn't get tucked in by mommy. It was more my sister or myself, just eating and going to bed. However, I did see my mommy read. She was a newspaper reader. Remember I think they still make the Times Dispatch. So she would read the newspaper often. Most of the time it would be, just to catch up on what was going on, or the classifieds or something was in there. So she could always make sure she stayed on top of different jobs that she may wanted to take advantage of. But I used to get library books. So I loved the library. I thought as a child I was going to be, as an adult, when I was a child, I thought I was going to be a librarian because I used to love the environment in the library. However, when I would check my books out and I would like read and everything, I would get bullied and called like a nerd. And so I didn't think reading was cool. So I stopped reading because I was like, oh, this is not cool. Like they are not wanting to be my friends because I'm reading a book all the time. So that was my first negative impact when it came to reading. I was kind of bullied for it. But then secondly, my mom used it kind of like, I don't think she knew that she was using it this way, but she would be like, when I go on punishment, she was like, go in your room, go read a book. So then I associated reading with punishment. And so when I could read, I felt like, oh, this is a punishment to read. Don't read. So those little things were going on cognitively that kind of confused me about literacy and reading and the importance of it because of those kind of like negative impacts.
Mm. Oh man, obviously, I just wincing because unfortunately, again, when I talk about the Black community, our Black culture, and this is one of the reasons why Real Reading Talk was created, because we need to change that mindset around
Yes.
literacy. And you said two things that I've talked about consistently on the show with guests or when I am, doing the show by myself. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, being bullied for reading.
Yeah.
Walter Dean Myers. You heard of Walter Dean Myers? He passed on. He
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yep.
Having to hide the books.
Yep.
Usually, you tend to hear that, though. I actually seemed like I would hear that more from boys. So that was really
Mm.
interesting that you say that you experienced that as a young girl, right?
Yeah.
So that aspect, and then the aspect of the punishment equals the reading.
I know.
Girl, oh
Oh.
my Lord, we got work to do. Oh my God, we got work to do in our community.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. And that's why I appreciate what you're doing so much. You are just, when I went just reading, on the website and again, like I said, just, when Brother Kerwin had introduced us and everything, and I'm just like, man, this sister is amazing. This is exactly what we need in our community. So what I would like to do, because we got to bring your son up in here in this conversation because he is an integral part of this conversation, right? So,
Yes.
Brother Amari, I
Mm-hmm.
want you, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. And we know basketball player, exceptional honor roll student. Tell us some more about yourself. Matter of fact, we'll start with this. What is one of your favorite books that you remember either being, that was got read to you or that you have read?
A book that I've been reading recently is a book called Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So basically, I saw my classmates at school like last year reading this book, and I was like, I want to get on some of this action. So I've been collecting a bunch of the books lately. One of my favorite books, actually.
Nice. That is awesome. You know what? I love this. And you said that it was your classmates. They
Yeah.
were recommending this book. They were reading this book. And so that's what got you intrigued into reading that
Mm-hmm.
particular book. That is absolutely amazing. Can you tell, first of all, how old are you? And what
11 years
are you?
old.
I'm sorry, say that again.
11 years old.
We're 11. And then what grade are you in?
5th grade.
Okay, 11 years old, 5th grade, and your classmates are talking about a book. And that right there is great. So when your mom talked about how she was a kid, because how old were you when you experienced that, Adrienne, in terms of
10 or 11. I was in elementary school. Yep.
and Amari, have you ever experienced anybody trying to bully you for reading?
No, not really.
That, wow. That right there, I am extremely happy to hear that. That's number one. Okay. And obviously, you even with you being raised in a home where your parents value reading, right there has given you that foundation of wanting to read.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a lot of books in your home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I have a whole bookshelf of books that I barely read. Like
Okay.
these are books from my childhood, like 5 or 6 years old. I was reading. I would just pop up in the morning, and start reading, just start looking at the pictures, and I just kept them.
Look at you. Look, your mature self. These are books from my childhood, See.
He's not still
Come on.
Where's your favorite place to go?
Barnes and Noble.
To where?
Barnes and Noble.
Come on. Come on. Your favorite place to go is Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. I'm like, what do you want to do today? He was like, can we go to Barnes and Noble? I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like a field trip for us. That, and then we go eat lunch, and then we go to Sweet Frog. It's like the most simplest, heart-grabbing experience ever. Like, don't get me wrong, he loves to go to the mall and all those places and spend my money. But to say Barnes and Nobles for an 11-year-old boy,
come on.
So we have made a lot of different strides. Now, I must say, I do want to throw this out there. Amari is not in a public school setting. He's in a private school setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So he goes to a private school here in Richmond, and he's never experienced a public setting. I attended public schools when I was in elementary school. I rode the bus. I was in the classroom with the little delinquents and all of those things. And so, and I really don't want to call them delinquents because most of what they were going through that made them act the way that they were acting, it was from the households that they were coming from. It was from what they were exposed to. And so I try to be precautious because I was a little delinquent myself, So, but I kind of didn't want that experience for Amari. So I was trying to see what could I do to kind of change the generational things that were being passed in my family. How could I break that? So Amari loves reading because I used to read to Amari when he was in my womb. He didn't even know anything about reading. And so that's how I think his original start of reading and grabbing those books when he was a toddler, not even knowing words, but wanting to look at the pictures. Yep.
And you are literally hitting all of the different things, the simplicity around us cultivating a culture of literacy, reading in the womb, making sure that they have the books, associating reading with pleasure. All of these different things, and you being intentional about making sure that you, Amari, and of course your other sons as well, have that opposite experience that you had when it came to reading.
Yep.
And again, and as we know, because like I talk about my story in terms of, and I'm not, here to, go into all my story in the detail like that, because this is about you two, but just making the connection in terms of, I didn't see my parents reading. Well, my dad, he would read the newspaper. Same thing. He would do that. And then my mom, I remember her at one point, she was in college. She was like in a community college. And I remember she had to like study for a class. So I remember that. Okay. But it wasn't the bedtime story. My single mom doing the best that she could. She wasn't giving me no bedtime stories. Okay. Like you said, single, working. It was like, okay, you get this done, you do your homework, okay, all right. Everything was a command, a directive. It wasn't an engaging conversation like right now, how you and your son are demonstrating, having this conversation. You guys are, he's hearing about your experiences, all of these different things. This right here is cultivating, again, that positivity as it pertains to literacy. Really are modeling what we need in our community. This is just so beautiful. So now let's start moving into you all's book, okay? Because again, we got to talk about this. That's what we here to celebrate. Yes, yes. Hold on one more time up. They need to see like the full. There we go. Yeah, and pull it back some so they can see y'all names. Thank you. Excellent. Mm-hmm. So I hope you all are absolutely enjoying this episode. As you all know, I love celebrating our authors, in particular, our Black authors, and even more specifically, Black authors who are not very well known. As we know, there is still a small amount of Black authors in this author space. And when I get a hold of them, I'm able to have these conversations with them. I just absolutely love talking to them, especially about the ways in which we can help combat this high levels of illiteracy that has been plaguing our Black communities for decades. Now, speaking of authors, yes, y'all, your girl, that's right, Seisha. I am a co-author of this phenomenal book, Healed, Empowered, Resilient. Me and 9 other amazing dope sisters have come together so that we can talk about our stories, share in here in this book how we did not allow our setbacks to hold us back, okay? Those setbacks that we all experience in life, we took those and we allowed them to be the catalyst into leading us into becoming the phenomenal women that we are. And in this book, we share our story. Each of us have our own chapter in which we share some of our personal stories, reflections. Some of them get a little deep, especially mine, chapter 5, Escaping the Fear Trap House, okay? I go in, y'all. I'm letting you all know I am vulnerable in this chapter. I'm transparent in this chapter. But guess what? Those are the ways that we are going to heal. If we keep trying to hide and act like everything is okay, then we're not going to actually address the problem. All right? This is why this book is needed. All right? So for those of you out there, and I'm speaking, yes, we definitely have been targeting our young women all the way to our wise community of women. However, this book can be for everyone. In fact, you go check our Amazon reviews. We have some reviews by brothers who have read this book, and they said it is absolutely a must read. So this is what you can do. Go to Amazon and you can type in Healed, Empowered, Resilient, her. And this beautiful, beautiful cover, y'all, don't you agree? Will pop up, and yes, go ahead and get your copy or copies today. Peace. So yes. let's start off again with you, Mom. Adrienne, can you please let everybody know what made you decide to become an author?
So as I mentioned, I love the library. I love being amongst, I guess now to kind of connect it, I love the library like Amari loved Barnes and Nobles. I love the environment. My house was a little chaotic and kind of stressful from being a single parent household. And so 3 women, well, 2 girls and a woman in the house, you can get a little loud at times when, hormones are going crazy. And so I found the library to be a safe haven. It was quiet. It was tranquil. It was serene. It wasn't a lot of things happening. You had to be quiet when you came in there, or the librarian would put you out. So that's how I found my calm and my stillness in life. So the environments that I love going to the library. But then I love the way that the library operated. Back in the day, we used to have to go to a card catalog and find your book. It wasn't all this internet stuff. You had to go through that card catalog. I forget what you call it. The Dewey did something.
Dewey Decimal System, was that it?
Dewey Decimal System, yes, to find your book, and then you had to go on the shelf and actually look at the labels and see in alphabetical order where your book was on the shelf. So I think I love that mystery of finding the book. And then I remember I was in 7th grade, middle school. They were doing a book writing competition. And I was so nervous. And it was a real book writing competition. You had to create your story. You had to do all of the illustration. You had to bind your book and put it all together. And I did it. I wrote about a little puppy. I don't remember the exact story, but I got my first ribbon and my first little competition in 7th grade for writing that story.
Wow.
That gave me confidence, but I still didn't have support. Still didn't have support then. And so again, I never entered another competition. I kind of put writing on the back burner because life was lifing. Also, at this point, if you guys get my book, you'll see that at 11 years old is where I actually jumped off the porch and lost my virginity. So even though I was in school as a 7th grader entering book competitions, in my mind, I had already become a woman at 11. And so writing books and doing things in school was not what my focus was. And then mommy being a single mom, she wasn't really at home. So I really wasn't getting those commands or those, directives from her. I was kind of like a wild child. So fast forward to high school, just wilding, just doing enough to get by in school, never tapped back in. However, I was journaling. I was writing down my feelings. I was writing down what I was going through. I was in deep prayer with God. It was a lot happening, but I never thought that those journals would become a manuscript until after.
It was during COVID.
Yep.
I remember she started writing in a journal. I think it was January of 2020.
Go ahead, boy.
Okay. I thought you I thought he was going to add some more. Okay, that's when you start writing 2020 January. Oh,
yeah.
And when did I finish, Amari?
You finished earlier this year.
Yes, it took me 5 years to get my manuscript completed because of all the things, it takes you back, you flash back into things that happened in your past. But if you're trying to heal and get through those parts of your life, and that book or that manuscript keeps taking you back, for me, it took a while for it all to come out. Oh, wow. My husband had a stroke in 2022. It was so many things that were happening that I was saying, it's keeping me from my book. And then something just said, it's not about you. People need to hear your story. And when I heard that voice, I took me out of it. I took all of the things that I felt like was holding me back, whether it was the fear of writing it, whether it was the boldness and courageousness of, oh my gosh, what people going to say about my life? Because what I remembered is that I was changing and I was transforming. And the young lady that's in this book is not who I am anymore. However, without this young lady in the book, I couldn't be who I am. And so I knew I wanted to be an author. I just always didn't know how it would happen because I always said, oh, you got to have money. And I had my mindset again, my paradigm had not shifted. And so I was thinking, oh, money is an issue. I always had struggles with money. I'm not going to be able to be an author. Push it to the back burner. Oh, you have to speak a certain way. You have to have a certain etiquette. Then my mind really went crazy, Seisha. I was like, it's not even that many Black authors. That's not true. It is true, but they are out there. So I had to start doing research on female African-American authors and reading their stories. Maya Angelou, Jay Harrison. I had to start doing my research and say, who has done this before me? And if they can do it, Why can't you? And that's when I pushed through, and here it is. I published my book, May of 2025.
Girl, I'm so excited because everything you were saying, like, I've thought these things, I've heard other people talk about it. These are real conversations about the things that we go through as Black folks, especially as it pertains to entering into that author space.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh my God, man.
Yep. You'll get discouraged and you'll want to stop. And that's why I thank goodness that I did journal, because I didn't have to work hard at telling my story because I had been journaling, and all I had to do was put my journals in order to synchronize it to create it into a book. I had a foundation. I had a blueprint. No one had ever done this in my family before. That's another thing that scares people, and you don't do it when you're the first to do it. It's like, oh, but you're like a young one. Why don't you just wait until an elder does it, or until an older cousin does it? I was just imposter syndrome in my behind off. I'm like, I don't belong in this space. I don't belong in these rooms. No, just fall back, Adrienne. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, it was a battle in my mind all these past 4.5 to 5 years. But I did not give up. And obviously I silenced those voices to continue to push and to actually produce. Yep.
And I am just absolutely proud of you. Let me say that right now, giving you your flowers.
Thank you.
I'm extremely proud of you. I am happy for you. You are needed. Everything that you said is absolutely a lot of the things that our people deal with every day. And of course, we're in particular talking about in the author space, but we're talking about in everything, anything that we need to do to thrive and advance. We have to silence that limited mindset. I'm so glad you hit up on all the girl. You got so many different clips I'm gonna be taking out here and share. Literally, this is like a motivational speaking, platform right now that you are just like, embracing right now. You are like, it's literally, I'm just imagining you just being on stage, telling everybody, what I'm saying, all of these things. And that's, again, why this podcast and why I created this. And it has evolved into just like so much of wisdom, especially too by me having these connections with a lot of Black authors, many. And I love the fact of being able to celebrate Black authors that are not well known.
Yes.
That right there is extremely important. Yeah. And you are underscoring why it is important. And then your baby right here celebrating you. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. And what I want to do before we segue into Amari and in your book, I want everybody to, number one, they have read the title of your book, or, say the title of your book, and, let everybody know obviously where they can get the book as well. But we're going to talk more about that towards the end. But I definitely want you to give everybody the title, and then also tell us what made you come up with that title of the book as well.
Yes. So the name of my book is it's a transformation book. It's From Troublemaker to Problem Solver by myself, Adrienne P. Henley. It's a memoir. So the book is actually about me. The main character's name is Dream Perkins. Dream was a wild child, not because she wanted to, but because she didn't have her father's love. And because she didn't have her father's love, she went through a serpentine of things going with, happening with different men and different things in her life because she wasn't worthy. She felt like she wasn't worthy. I wrote the title of the book came because I was a troublemaker, and I didn't know that it was that I was being a troublemaker. I was just acting out of what I was not receiving, the abandonment in my life, the neglect in my life, from family members and people who I thought should love and care for me. And so out of that, I was getting into a lot of different things. transformation part into the problem solver is basically because through all of my trials, it made me have to figure out solutions. It made me have to start to pray. It made me have to start to mature. I became a mom early. And so all of the negative things that had happened to me throughout my life, I learned how to stamp them with positivity. And to look to my higher power and not necessarily to me. And in the book, it goes through my transformation of being a troublemaker to a problem solver. And so it just came to me so quickly. The title of the book was not hard because I knew what I wanted to talk about in my book. Mm-hmm. It was getting everything in the book that was the most challenging, and and making sure it made sense and there was a flow.
You. Oh, yeah. Wow. I love, and one thing that I love, because you had said this about a few minutes ago, how you said you realize those are the things you had to go through in your life in order for you to transform into the woman that you are today.
Absolutely. Without them, we would not have met. Probably would not have met had I not have gone through those things. Everybody, Stacia, everybody has a story. The question is, are they telling it? Yep.
Yeah. And I'm gonna add to that part too. Are you allowing the bad parts, because the ugly parts, to hold you back?
Yeah.
Are you allowing them to trap you? Mm-hmm. So that you feel like, oh my God, I could never become an author. I could never become this, business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you are intending to do in life, because you experience all of these negative things. And you are showing us that no, you silence that negativity.
Yeah.
Popping up.
Yeah.
We thank you for that.
Thank you. My pleasure.
My gosh. Woo. Okay. Come on, Brother Amari. It's your turn. Yes, indeed. 11-year-old published author. And I'm quite sure this is going to be the first of many. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. So tell everybody the name of your book.
The name of my book is I Can Be Anything by the Amari Henley.
Come on, y'all.
Girl, he his own MC. He don't need me.
Amari, take it away. Just do what you do about. Tell us about the book. Tell us, what made you come up with the book.
Basically, the reason that I made this book, because my mom made the book. I was like, I wanna have a book too. So yeah, my mom enrolled me into this book camp. That's what I'll call it, where it would help us to publish our books by our publisher. I forgot her name.
Oh, Miss Brittany.
Miss Brittany Lachey. She had this camp going on, and I got enrolled for it for like a couple weeks, I'm pretty sure, and that helped me get this book all ready and everything. I made my manuscript and everything, and voila, I Can Be Anything is born.
And look at him, this manuscript. I mean, can you please define what manuscript is, Amari?
Basically, like the prototype of my book.
Okay.
Basically, what I did was I just took a bunch of papers, folded them, and then stapled them, and then just started writing down what I wanted in there. So I was like, "Oh, what do I want on the first page? I can be anything that I put if I put my mind to it." And my mom helped me with everything. We even made rhymes for each thing, thing that I said you could be in this book.
And what I wanted to point out is not many people can pay attention to it. But he is the only African American in his on his title page. And so this is to inspire African American little boys in particular, that even though you're surrounded by other nationalities and other ethnicities and things of that nature, don't ever dumb down who you are. You are the great. You still can be the greatest. Amari attends a school where there's he's considered minority. And so this is like him looking at his classroom where he sees all of his other classmates. They don't have as much melanin in their skin as he does, but they don't look at each other like that. They look at each other like he says. They're readers. Hey, Amari, read this book. We've been reading it. And so I asked him about his, when he first gave what he wanted the illustrator to draw and everything. I was saying, what do you want? He said, I want to be the astronaut. I'm like, okay. And so, but he built these other characters. It's a basketball player and who's this?
That is a zookeeper, police officer, lawyer, and firefighter.
And a firefighter. And so all of these characters are in this book, getting the children to see themselves in their future and just pour in a little bit of what they may not be getting at home. Books help me have an imagination. Without me reading books, I don't think I would be an author. It kept me going and saying what could be out there. And I never wanted to shut down Amari's imagination. So this is why I'm not going to say it was easy for Amari, but when I said, what do you want your title page to look like? He told me. Yeah.
We still have it on Canva what the whole prototype was of our cover. It wasn't supposed to be cartoon. It was actually supposed to be realistic. Wow. And then we just took a Canva font and we put it on the book. And then this is how the letters look like that.
So people have to use their resources too. It's so many things out here. Now that back in the day, it would have defeated a person to try to do this. But now there is so much more advancement in the technology and things of that nature, which helps a child understand that they can really do these things nowadays. You still need support. And that's why I'm in Amari's corner behind everything that he wants to do. You want to give Miss Sasha a snippet of your next project?
My next project, I want it to be called Big Shot. It is going to be a chapter book about the main character in this book right here. His name is going to be AJ. That's what I wanted it to be. It's about how he has to face his fears playing basketball and get through the good, the bad, and the ugly playing basketball. And then it ends. I don't really want to tell
there
this.
You go.
If you want to find out,
it'll
be coming in a couple years. Get the book.
That's right. Get the book.
Amari, like all of these things that I have learned in this writing book process. You're learning about the language in terms of manuscript, prototype, and then you're talking about in terms of like your different experiences and then now you're already talking about writing a second book. Amari, brother, please, you are in the business of, come on, man. You talking about create generational wealth? But Amari, entrepreneurship, your mind, man, you are a visionary. You know what that is?
No.
You are somebody who can see different things in terms of how to create things in a way where it can just keep growing and growing. That's what visionaries do. All right. They have this creative mindset. And usually what that comes from is through reading. And of course, the fact that your parents are supporting you. That's the thing that I love too. That piece, Adrienne, that you talked about, like how you won that award back in 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah.
The only thing is that, the confidence was there, but you needed that support.
Yeah.
That's the key. And that is something, y'all are like, man, I could just continue this conversation for like hours with you guys. And guess what? I definitely want to have you all back. But what I would love to do right now is I want you to leave us with 3 ways. And in particular, Adrienne, can you talk to those single mothers right now And single dads too. I say that as well because you got some brothers out here. They're raising their children on their own as well, and what things that they can do to support and cultivate that culture of literacy in their homes.
Yes, ma'am. So as a single mom, a former single mom, talking to a single mom currently, I would say, read to your children. Don't just give them a cell phone and let the phone read to them. It's very important that they see you, that you model that. If you're not very good with reading or you don't feel like you are confident in your reading, then of course you can turn to technology and let them read. But I do encourage you to get the childhood books, to take your children to the library, to give them that exposure to Barnes and Nobles. Like I said, that's where Amari loves to go. They have a beautiful kids section in there. You don't have to have money to go into the library. You don't have to have money to go to Barnes and Nobles. You can just go and explore and walk around, window shop, so they say. But expose your children to these environments. Read to your unborn children. You don't know, but they're developing. God bless you. They're developing inside of your womb. They have ears. They can hear. They can hear what you're saying to them. So bring them down that canal in a beautiful way with letting them hear their mom's voice of reading. That is early literacy for them. Fathers, if you are a single dad and you're raising your children, I know that, like Stacia said earlier today, you guys might have, not seen it, had to hide your books. It's not a cool thing, but you're grown now. If you're 16, 17, 18, and you're a father, listen, get those children, get those books, lay them out in the floor, let them pick which one they want to read. Even if you're just fumbling through the pages and just looking, create your own story from what the pictures say, even if you can't. But if you know how to read yourself, read to your children. It's very important that they understand the importance of it. And reading goes a very long way. People don't know that reading is the gateway to living a successful life. Reading is everywhere. You can't travel without knowing how to read. You can't get jobs sometimes without knowing how to read. So the foundation of reading is actually what sets you up for your future. So if you want to have a successful reader, a successful future, be a successful reader. I promise you, when you plant those seeds of reading, your children will thank you. Amari thanks me, even though I might have got on his nerves reading and all of those things, but this is an example of, if you stick with it and you do it consistently, what could be developed out of it. My book. So my book, you can be a man, and I've had 7 men purchase my book, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna give it to your wife? You're gonna give it to your girlfriend? They're like, no, I'm gonna read your book. And the reason why is because they want to see what women go through. They want to see the hardships so that they can understand a woman's heart from brokenness, and see what they have to go through as women with trying to be strong and trying to be the backbone and trying to be the help in those things. And so, men, you are welcome. I was once asked, what's my audience for my book?
Yeah.
The world is the audience for my book. 13-year-olds can read my book. Amari, this copy is Amari's copy. Amari is reading my book, or has read some of my book. And so my book is PG. It may even be G, but that's the way that I've constructed it. So it could be an easy read. My dad read my book in 8 hours. He ordered it came in the mail. He read it all in the same day. I'm like, Dad, I gave you a bookmark. You're supposed to take your time with it. He was like, it was so good, baby. So my book, From Troublemaker to Problem Solver, can be found at online at Barnes and Nobles. You just put in my title, it'll come up. You can order it straight from Barnes and Nobles. My website, which I will make sure Stacia has that as well to post at the bottom of our podcast, has all of the different ways that you can purchase it. I'm also on Ingram Spark. Link will be in there also. And you could fill out a pre-order form. It'll come directly to me so that I can autograph it personally for you. And then if you're local, we can meet up. And if you are away, I could put it in the mail for you if you want your autographed copy. Same thing with Amari as well. But I know he'll tell you how you can get his book.
That was beautiful. And that's exactly what I was going to do, go to Amari. And what I want you to do, Amari, in ending us, first, I just want to say this, even though I understand that you are, and I'm putting up air quotes, minority in your class because you are, just the only Black brother, who's in there. However, I just want to remind you, you are a part of the global majority. I like to say that because there are across the globe more folks that come from our community. But just a reminder, you are part of what is called the global majority. So meaning that we come from the community in which there's a lot more folks that look like us across the globe. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that right there, that I want that to give you a more boost of power and confidence in who you are and whose shoulders that you stand on. All right. So, and then what I would love for you to do is, can you talk to those young children out there who don't like to read? What would you say to them to get them to read it?
Honestly, to y'all out there, I would definitely start off with I don't even like reading chapter books like that. Like, I would start off with an easy book. Like, you can start off reading my book and then keep leveling up like a video game. Like, you don't just start at the last level whatever it is. You have to start at level 1, keep leveling up to what you want to read. To just keep going.
Yeah, good analogy with the video game, because the children do play video games and they don't stop at level 1. They continue to get better because they're doing it every single day. Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm. That is, I'm telling you got, seriously, man, your insight is amazing. It's off the charts. And I already see where it comes from. That cultivation and love from your family, and them cultivating that level of literacy and always pushing you to be your very best. And they're doing it in a loving way. I can see it. I feel that energy just in this conversation alone. So I'm super proud of you. And I want you to tell everybody. Well, your mama knows, she said where you guys can get the book. So it's the same, everything the same, right? Same thing that you said for yourself, correct, Adrienne?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no. Amari's not on Ingram. No.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amari,
and pre-order.
Yeah, so he's on Amazon. His book is on Amazon. $11.99. Mm-hmm. And or there's a pre-order form if they want an autographed copy from this young author. They can fill out the pre-order form. The books that we have, on hand, he'll autograph it and we'll give it to them by hand delivery or by USPS mail.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing. Oh, I appreciate both of you. And again, of course, the links, they're going to be in my description. They're going to be in the post. So God willing, everybody will be able to see where to click on that link. And I want everybody to know that you all need to please support this mother and son in their books. And we are supporting, remember, we are supporting Black authors. We are supporting Black families. We're doing all of these things when we are celebrating folks like yourself, man. I mean, y'all are just truly, truly amazing. I appreciate you guys. Where can they find you on the social media as well? Where should they follow you?
Yes. So Amari, being 11, he cannot wait to get some social media links.
Right. Okay.
So Amari is not yet on social media, but I can be found on Facebook as my name, Adrienne Peters Henley. I also can be found on Instagram at blessed1, all one word, 32. Working on a TikTok. Got to get better there. So right now I'm just on Facebook and on Instagram. However, my middle son is gonna be my IT guy, so he gonna get me going.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I'll tell you too. I've actually started like trying to utilize TikTok more. That is the
yeah,
space you definitely need to be on.
gotta be
So
okay.
freedom. Yes, yes, yes,
Ma'am,
yes,
heard,
yes.
heard.
Well, this was amazing. I need to thank you all again tremendously, immensely for gracing your presence here on Real Reading Talk. You two did phenomenal. I thank you so much, Adrienne Henley and Amari Henley. This was dope. How do you all feel about how did y'all feel about this conference? Was it cool?
Yes, we
All
really
right.
enjoyed
Okay.
it. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Stacia, for what you're doing in the community behind the scenes. And Miss Stacia's a visionary, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's able to see the things and she pulls people in. And I'm so glad that you and Karen were able to connect so that we all could connect because we are one. We are one and we need to be together. We need to stick together. We need to support and promote one another. So what you are doing is absolutely beautiful. Continue, my queen. Continue.
Oh, I appreciate you, my queen. Thank you. Reading is freedom. Peace. So, again, I thank you all for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. And here's a couple of housekeeping things that I need to take care of, which is to remind you all that I am a pre-K through fourth grade reading tutor. And you can find me by going to abclearntutoring.com. So if your child is struggling with comprehension, with phonemic awareness, meaning being able to connect those letters to those sounds, also phonics, all right, those vowel teams, digraphs, sounds familiar? Well, guess what? I can help your child be able to master all of those things, those 5 components of literacy. Just click on the free reading assessment on my website, abclearntutoring.com. And I'm also the founder and executive director of ABC Read. ABC Read is a nonprofit organization that I started over 10 years ago. And the mission is to develop and nurture a culture of literacy in Black and underserved communities. When I saw that need here in Cleveland needed to be addressed, thank God that I was ready to get right on it, all right? And so this is why we're going 10 years strong. And you guys can check us out on abcread.org to see the work that we have been doing. And if you are so compelled to please go ahead and make a donation. And make sure that you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, which this podcast is always uploaded to there, which is Reading is Freedom. Make sure that you share, give comments, like, all right? And last but not least, I want to share with you guys again. Yes, I am a co-author. This book, Healed, Empowered, Resilient. Yes, indeed. Me and 9 other amazing women came together to share our stories. Each of us have our own chapter. My chapter is chapter 5. 5 has always been my favorite number, by the way. Chapter 5, which is Escaping the Fear Trap House, okay? So you guys can go ahead and go to Amazon to grab your book, or you can actually reach out to me via email at info@abclearntutoring.com. All right. And then you give me your information and I can mail the book to you directly. All right. Remember, you guys are in the gift giving season. Okay. So again, I just want to leave you guys again with just some reading motivation, which is making sure that you are continuing to read in front of your children, and also remembering that you are getting your reading in every single day. All right. And speaking of reading, the book that I have been reading is The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I'm still reading that book. I'm like halfway through. So I would definitely recommend, if you want to looking for a book to get you over that hump of to stop people pleasing, worrying about what other people think about you, I definitely will recommend that book. All right. So with that being said, thank you all again for listening to another episode of Real Reading Talk. I am your most gracious host, Miss Stacia. All right, you all take care. Reading is freedom. Peace.